This episode of Seeing Red is presented in stereoscopic 3D and needs red and blue anaglyph glasses to view properly. But you can watch this episode in monochromatic 2D by clicking the link in the description. How's it gaming? I'm FillTheBlanks, and welcome to episode 20 of Seeing Red, a series of videos looking at the entirety of the Virtual Boy library. This is SD Gundam Dimension War, one of the very few licensed games for the Virtual Boy, the other one being Waterworld, based off an awful movie, but this is based off of an incredible anime series about giant robots fighting in space. So this has got to be like this incredible action game, right? Let's just jump in there so I can destroy those dreams. G-Force endeavors to recover MS units. I hope you know something about Gundam, because this game tells you absolutely nothing and expects you just already be a fan. Oh no! Here comes some mobile suits to attack. Prior to a colony, we meet enemies. Huzzah. And this is a strategy tactical battle game. I didn't want to call it a strategy RPG because it is very much not an RPG. There's no role-playing, there's no real characters. You play as the mobile units themselves, the Gundams and all that, against the other, the enemy combatants. And the maps are boring because they're in space, and I'm just going to, first of all, just let the enemy go. Because if I move forward, then I'm really within range. I like to pull them forward. I mean, they can still attack me, which they're going to. And, yeah, this is what attacking looks like. We're coming to get you. Let's shoot some lasers. And once we're close together, the game becomes an awful action game, where you basically have to attack with the right direction button. There's up, down, left, right, and they all do something different, either like a machine gun or like a larger bullet or like the sword swipe. And then the L and R buttons allow you to go in and out of the depth, and it is incredibly awkward and dumb. And the fact that you both can take so much damage here means it really feels like it doesn't matter who's attacking who, because you're both just taking a crazy amount of damage. Now that is if you take the direct attack option, which the computer was stupid and should not have done. There are two ways to attack, basically. There is the direct attack, which is what this guy decided to do, and then there's the indirect attack, which is more like a regular thing where you just get to attack them and they don't get to do anything, which is the smarter thing to do. They're just gonna keep going. So yes, this is Japanese exclusive, as you could probably imagine, because, Gundam wasn't really a big thing in America at all, and they weren't gonna release this for a Virtual Boy. It was already a dying system. This is probably not gonna do very well. They released a ton of these games, even before this one came out, and they're all not great. They're just there to be like, hey, do you like Gundam, kids? Buy this. And they're usually extremely bad. Back then, the SD Gundam series was just notoriously awful. Just terrible games with button mashy things and bad controls, and this fits that to a T. Like I said, the game has no real story. I think it's like 8 maps, and then you've won the game, basically. And it's weird because I guess it's called Dimension Wars because you have Gundams and enemies from like the first few series of Gundams. Like right now, like I don't even know what GP01 FB is, so there's that. But the enemy there is a Rick Dom. You can play as a Rick Diaz, you can play as the old school Gundam, the Z Gundam, I think later on Wing Gundam's there, so you're looking at like the original series, like the second series, and then you have like Gundam Wing from like the 90s. It's super weird, and all the enemies kind of are like that too. So like you got the Musai and the Zanzibar are the enemy ships. They're what matters. You need to take out the ships. So we're gonna just indirectly attack. Like I said, indirectly attacking is a lot easier and better because I don't have to control anything. The Zaku just takes damage and dies. Because, if my Gundam went in there and attacked, I would have taken damage. I have like no life left, so bam, dead. So that's what we're gonna do. It's just the easiest thing to do. You obviously have to protect your own 2 ships. I forget what my ships are called. I know the one is the, oh, what is it called? The white something, we'll see it in a second. But it's the original ship from like the original Gundam and that kind of thing. So this was really marketed to just kids who's like, do you want literally anything for Gundam? Here, we slapped Gundam names on Gundam graphics and we called it a day. And it's not like the strategy is very deep. As you can see, I'm just constantly indirectly attacking. Like, take this, Zanzibar. And we take a decent amount of damage, just takes a little while. I don't know if it's based on any sort of stats on your Gundams, because you really can't look at anything in this game. It's crazy. You don't even know who pilots the Gundams, because this is the SD Gundam series, which means that they're all like chibi versions of the Gundams, and they're like alive, I guess. I don't know. There's also an ambush thing, but I don't really know what that does, and I never really seen what it did. But yeah, it's not a deep tactical game either, because you can only move 3 spaces, so it's a little weird. Your ships can only move forward, which is kind of funny. So there we go, and hopefully if it can attack white base. That's what it is. The only real ship I kind of know in Gundam, because I watched the original Gundam and Z Gundam. So not a whole lot. Oh no, the Gelgoog is going to attack me. So yeah, when I was preparing for this game, I was like, oh, this is probably a little bit of an RPG, so I'm going to get a translation patch, because I don't want to play it in Japanese, even if I don't really care to play through the whole game. And then when I found out it is literally just a line or two in between each fight, and each fight is pretty much just, we moved on. And as we moved on, we fought enemies. And then we destroyed the enemies, and we moved on. And as we moved on, we encountered enemies. Like, that's all it is. It's insane. So I really didn't need to go to the trouble to get a patch, but I did. So there you go. That's why this is in English. But the funny part is, and this is me, I could imagine that, like, 10-year-old me, if I liked Gundam, would kind of enjoy this. It is button mashy and it is dumb, but it's kind of okay. I mean, it's not good by any means. It's quite terrible. But it's like, it's got the license, right? And as a kid, you just wanted anything based on something you enjoyed to be a video game. Now in Japan, they had 100 Gundam games, so I guess it wouldn't have been a big deal. Because this feels ancient even for the Virtual Boy, in my opinion. Like, I find this could have been a lot better, but this feels like an NES game. Other than the fact that there's, like, the 3D-ness of them coming together. But, like, it looks bad, they don't animate well, but from what I've heard from most people is that the toss-up between, it's a toss-up between this and Virtual Lab as to which is the worst game on the Virtual Boy. And yeah, they're both horrible. But Virtual Lab's probably worse. Probably worse. Because I could see myself as a little kid still enjoying this. Because you can save in between turns and in between fights. So even if it's stupid, it's still kind of fun to play dumb Gundam checkers with bad action. It's way better than playing the single mode of Virtual Lab, which doesn't make any sense and isn't very good. So, take this, Rick Dom. No animation of the sprite, just like staring at me blankly like, please don't disassemble Johnny 5. You did it. And it comes in and out of the screen, which is kind of a neat effect, but I mean, this is the Virtual Boy. Every game was doing that, so it's really not a big deal. We're just doing this one single chapter. Like I said, I heard it's 8 fights, so 1/8 way of the game. Good for me. Now I imagine the game probably gets much more difficult, and I know, like I said, you do get different Gundams based on the different eras of Gundam and some of the enemies. Like, you fight Big Zam later on, and that sort of stuff, which is, again, really cool. There's no reason why they're all together, or why you're piloting Gundams that I don't even think canonically are in the same, like, timeline. I have no clue. So it's a little silly, but whatever. I really shouldn't attack you. I want to, probably indirectly attack this guy, yes, and then I can do something else with my other Gundam. You can tell your Gundams are the ones facing away from you, and the enemies are the ones facing towards you. Other than that, like, because there's no colors, it's a little harder to tell. And I guess, again, if you know Gundam, you know that Gelgoogs are usually bad guys. They're part of the Zeon army and that sort of thing, and you're not part of that, so you kind of understand that sort of stuff if you know Gundam, but if you don't, it's just like, this is just a bunch of gobbledygook, man. So, yeah, now I might as well take this guy out now that I've dwindled his HP quite a bit. I wasn't paying attention to his HP. Will I be able to take him up before he even enriches me? Yes, I might be able to. This is another time where you just get a lot of damage. Not a lot of damage, but enough. There, he's dead. Sorry, Gelgoog. I like the Zakus. They're my favorite of the early mobile suit enemies, like the grunt enemies. I actually have a model of them. I'm not a big Gundam guy, I will admit. I just like Gundam extraordinarily casually. Right before Oliver was born, I was like, I'll start watching Gundam. And I watched, does White Bar have like no HP? Or is it just not showing it? Jeez. I just started it from the very beginning. This is back when I was playing Soul Blazer for the channel. That's how long ago. Oops, knocked something over. And I only got up to the 3rd series, which is like, oh geez, what was it called? Like ZZ Gundam, something like that. And then Oliver was born, and I was, you know, raising a tiny infant, and I couldn't watch anime because I couldn't muster up the brain power to read the subtitles because I was so sleep deprived. And that was it. That was the last time. I ended on like episode 15. Like the episode where they go to a different planet and meet this weird ancient civilization, and the main guy, whose name I don't even remember from the 3rd series, I think like falls in love with a girl there. Like, I don't know. That was a wacky season too. Very wacky, especially compared to the other two. So that's as far as my knowledge goes. A little bit of Gundam Wing back in the 90s. So that's about it. So yeah, I have I have 3 models. I have the Mark II in the original black color from the first episode, and the Zaku, which again I think is one of my favorite enemy designs from the early stuff. And I got the I forget the name. It's the name of Char's mobile suit from the 2nd season when he's not Char, but everyone clearly knows it's Char. Anyways, any Gundam fan watching is probably like, wow, Phil is extremely casual with this. Anyways, I'm just rambling right now because this is such a weirdly put together game, and is, I don't know. Again, the thing is for me though, if I was a little kid playing this game, I'd hate that it was on the Virtual Boy. This would be well, I wouldn't say okay Game Boy game, but this would be a Game Boy game I could play on a trip as a little kid. As a Virtual Boy game, this is stupid. Do you know what I mean? Because, like, this is something that's made to be portable for a kid who just wants to play something with Gundam on it. But, nope, they made it a Virtual Boy game. That being said, if you do like this game, there are so many of them. Go get them. They're not expensive. I actually have a couple for my Famicom. Like some original Japanese ones that are like, it's like SD Gundam, and it's a traditional Dragon Quest style RPG where they're Gundams. Like, they're living, tiny chibi Gundams with big adorable eyes, but they're knights. Like, this is what Gundam was back in the 80s. It is bonkers. So, and yeah, and they just made mediocre game after mediocre game after mediocre game. Now, there are good Gundam games. There's quite a few good Gundam games. But a lot of them are really just, hey, we have this license for this game, let's put out slop, and there are just so many of them. And quality control is not important. I think the Zanzibar is gone. Farewell, Zeon Army. That'll teach you to explode all the bases and start the big 100-year war or whatever. There we go. I think that's it. No, we still have the other guy. So we just took out Zanzibar, we have to take out the Musai. Oh, he's still got a little bit of HP. But like I said, this is for, like, hyper fans of the show that just wanted anything Gundam related. I think in the 90s, 80s and 90s, Gundam was just so popular that, like, they were releasing anything and people were buying it. So the fact that they kept making it means these must have been at least somewhat profitable. But back on the thing on the Virtual Boy, we are now past the worst of the worst. This and Virtual Lab. The last 2 games, episode 21 and 22, I played a little bit of them, and, I mean, I would nothing to write home about, but they are functional games. So these two games are easily the worst ones. SD Gundam Dimension War and Virtual Lab, unfortunately. Goodbye, Musai. They're also stupidly expensive, and I'm not joking. Virtual Lab and this game go for $1,000 to $2,000. It's crazy, but not as crazy as Next Episode, because I believe Next Episode is the most expensive Virtual Boy game. We beat the enemy units. Great storytelling. I kind of like the music. The enemy, however, stole our GP02A unit. Whatever that means. We must recover GP02A or destroy it. How did they steal it? We killed all the guys. Anyways, there go my ship. That does look like white base. Anyways, that is it. We're not gonna play any more of this. But hey, like I said, we're past the worst of it. Next episode, we will be back to a pretty fun game, a Japanese exclusive, the last Japanese exclusive. And with that, I'm Fill in the Blanks. See you next level. Hey, thanks for watching. If you liked this episode, click that subscribe button and hit the bell icon to know when the next episode is up. If you want to support my channel, share some videos with some friends and consider supporting me on Patreon.